Okay, we're now ready?
Yeah.
Okay, we're now going to do experiment 12.1, oxidation states of iron. This is on page 366. This is going to be analyzing a redox reaction. We're going to do one for ourselves. It's a fairly simple one. It's going to take place over a while, so we'll have to stop and come back. We'll start through the process now. All right, so what we need for this is hydrogen peroxide, a 250 milliliter beaker, a test tube, which I have over there, a stirring rod, steel wool, white vinegar, and then safety goggles. All right, instructions say to add approximately 50 milliliters of vinegar to a 250 milliliter beaker. So I actually did that right before I did this, before we got on. So there's 50 milliliters of vinegar in there. Add hydrogen peroxide to the same beaker until the solution reaches a volume of about 75 milliliters. So I pre-measured 25, which should take us up to about 75 milliliters here of this, okay? Now we're going to put some steel wool into the beaker. You want enough to cover the bottom of the beaker at about half the depth of the solution in the beaker. Use the stirring rod to push the steel wool down. So I'm going to use my stirring rod, push it down underneath. Okay. It says to force it under the surface of the solution. You probably can't get it all to stay under the surface. Just do the best you can, which is just about right. So we're getting a close up here. Next, we're supposed to swirl the beaker so the solution and steel wool mix. So we're going to swirl it like that. And I'm just going to keep this on so you guys can start to see a reaction. We're going to continue to swirl until you see a color change. So we're going to keep swirling here until we see a color change. So you can see how quickly it takes to do this.
Dun, 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 dun.
Thank you. What are you doing? It doesn't bother me.
Dun, 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 dun.
So we get a color? No. Just a tiny bit, so it get a little bit cloudy, but not too much. So keep it going.
Yeah, it's not overly visible on the camera.
No. Yeah, I'm starting to see just a tinge of color to it.
Yeah.
So the color should turn a pale yellow and then perhaps orange. So we're going to start with once we get to pale yellow, we're going to stop because it's going to tell us then to set the beaker aside and let it sit for about an hour and do other schoolwork while we're waiting. So you don't have to wait that long because this camera's going to cut off until an hour has lapsed. So it's not turning white. There's like a slightest tinge to it now.
Yeah, it didn't change overly quickly when we first tried it.
Yeah, we did this experiment once a while back, and this is not the dramatic fun part of it, but it does get better. So, all right, so it's just starting to turn. It's hard to get probably a sense on the camera, but it's starting to turn a pale yellow now at this point. So we're going to put this down and let it sit for an hour, and then we're going to check back on it and see where we're at after 1 hour.